Hello everyone and welcome to State of the Realm, your weekly Final Fantasy XIV podcast. This week we are going to be breaking down the patch 3.3 trailer, which is only a week from this episode airing live over on Twitch. In a week you'll be able to continue your anima weapon, you'll be able to take on Nidhogg, and we will find out the conclusion of the Dragon Song War. But first, we're going to talk about all that tonight. So I am, of course, one of your hosts, Michael, Mr. Happy Poveramo. Joining me, as per usual, is Slyh, a.k.a. Slythefox, a.k.a. Slyh, a.k.a. Greyfox, a.k.a. Slyh Helen Keller, a.k.a. you my boy Blue. How you doing, Slyh?
Wawa. Wawa.
Wawa? It took me a second to realize that you were pretending to be Helen Keller, recognizing water. For anyone who's wondering why Slyh sounds different, and I expect that and everyone who's here for the beginning of the show, live, I need you to tell everyone who comes in during the show and goes, oh my god, why does Slyh sound so different? New headset. Let them know that his old headset was making that crackling noise, and he just plugged in a different one, so the sound of his audio is different, but it was better than having to do that whole thing all over again.
Me trying to strangle my headset the entire time, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much him going, fuck you.
Fuck you?
Yeah.
Okay, fuck this shit. I'm throwing this headset away. And it's really not the headset. It's just a microphone part. Like, I could still use the headset and hear the audio. It's just microphone.
Yeah. So he'll probably be a little bit lower today, so you might have to turn the volume up. That being said, the way we're going to start the stream, you may not want to necessarily blast your headsets because it may be a little loud. So, last Friday, patch 3.3 trailer dropped, Slyh.
Woo!
See, he sounds fine right there. It's just he's got to talk with your chest.
I gotta say it with my chest. I gotta yell constantly.
Yeah,
okay, I can do that the entire podcast. I can do that.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So before we actually break down the different parts of the trailer, we're gonna just watch it. Like we gotta watch it. I want to watch it again anyway because the music is phenomenal. So, well, I guess I could just listen to it. But it feels so much more emotional in the context of the trailer itself. So, with 1 week left before 3.3, Slyh, what do you say we tune over and watch the trailer itself?
I don't have popcorn, but I have beer. Let's do this.
Hey, yeah, at least I have half the components that you need. All right, well, I'm going to mute myself. Slyh, you mute yourself, and let's watch the trailer for 3.3 Revenge of the Horde.
Vengeance incarnate! I am Nidhogg! Thou shalt die by my hand! Your brother Worm now prepares to murder those whom I sought to spare. What is more, he has taken my comrade's body for his own. But if I must slay my dearest friend to defeat my direst foe, I will not flinch from my duty.
Remember your training! We hold fast until the Lord Commander returns.
All right, and on that note, let me make sure it doesn't start playing one of my videos, because that's the very next video that it wants to play, is my reaction to it.
Hey guys, Mr. Happy here.
So now you can all turn your volume back up so you can hear Sly and I better. Just giving them warning that I'm trying to direct the flow of volume, because I sound lower than usual, you sound lower than usual.
Of course.
Yeah, I just figure it's better that way. So, that was the trailer for 3. I don't know about you. I mean, we're not going to talk about it from end to start, but yeah, every time I end that trailer, I'm always like, oh, the music. Come on, Dragon. I was actually not the biggest fan of Dragon Song until it was put in context of that trailer. Pretty much, I was like, Dragon Song reminds me of Answers. I still like Answers better. But just like Answers, it's way better when put in context with the actual boss fight. I don't know about you. At least that's how I feel about it.
I don't need any context for it. It's actually a good song to me. It's definitely not Answers. If I were to go to like a distant world, I would love to hear it live. But yeah, it's still a good song nonetheless.
Yeah, pretty much. So we're actually going to go through piece by piece of the trailer. We're going to talk about it in the order that things happen, which kind of sucks because we have to talk about the main scenario first.
Right.
And then
wait. Before anything, the start of the trailer, like didn't Estinian/Nidhogg feel like he had that Batman vibe going? I am vengeance, I am the night, I am Nidhogg. Or
I am Nidhogg.
Yeah, he had the whole Batman vibe going on because I'm Nidhogg. Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah.
The big thing here, I mean, that's probably some of the better voice acting that's come out of the English via VA. I don't know about you, but like when I hear him saying he's Nidhogg, I mean, that's the happiest I've been with the English voice acting. And then immediately you hear Estinian talking, and when they cut over to his face, his lips aren't moving while he's talking. It's like, and here we go, back to reality again. So the first thing that shows off in the trailer is the main scenario quests, which brings us down to what is essentially the opening to Heavensward. This is the scene from the opening of Heavensward, basically, where it shows the warrior of light basically take on the Dragoon AF2 armor and prepare to defend Ishgard from the Dravanian horde. So how literal of an interpretation do you think that we're going to get here with that? Because it looks like that entire battle is just taking place on the front gate.
Well, the one thing you have to realize about that is, and we're going to talk about that more when we go to Sorkai, is if you remember the opening for Heavensward, you see a lot of Durgans that look like Hraesvelgr.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of confused me that when we saw the Sorkai part of it, like, you're fighting Hraesvelgr. Now, are you fighting Hraesvelgr or another dragon that looks similar to Hraesvelgr?
I think that ultimately what it came down to is they used Hraesvelgr's model for a lot of the trailer. I don't think that we actually are fighting Hraesvelgr in the initial Heavensward trailer. And I have a feeling, because here's the thing, we're technically trespassing on Forsaken ground when we're in Sorkai, because that's Redditosker's death is what sparked Nidhogg to be like furious with everyone and why he confronted Ishgard in the first place, and then they took his eyes, and then it got worse from there, pretty much. So we're treading upon sacred dragon land at this point. I don't know if Sorkai is
now. Do we get permission? Because we have to go to the dragons for permission to do anything, let alone breathe. That's what we've kind of done throughout Heavensward. Well, can we do this? Okay, you can do it, but you got to do this for me. So I think that that's going to be the one caveat to going to Sorkai. If not, just without permission from dragons, we end up getting permission to go to Sorkai, and then something happens.
I have a feeling that we probably need something from Sorkai to stand up to Nidhogg. I mean, it's always possible Redditosker left something behind there. But Hraesvelgr's not just going to let us have it. He's not necessarily there to defend Sorkai. He's there to test us. Either that or he's made Sorkai his home, and we're going there again. I have a feeling whatever the result is, we're not against Hraesvelgr, but Hraesvelgr, after all that has happened, he's not just going to let us have whatever it is that's in Sorkai, or he's not just going to give us the blessing of, his assistance when it comes to the Dragon Song War, which is ultimately.
He really hasn't assisted us in any way. He's just basically said, this is. I mean,
it's okay if you want to go make a truce with them. It's pretty much all he's done. And then Midgardsormr is just like, I don't know what the fuck's going on with you guys. You guys got problems down there. That's my children. I like this guy. I like the Warrior Light. I like my children. Like fucking, I don't know. You guys settle it, and I'll be here when the dust settles. I better see some Midgardsormr pop up at some point this patch.
Big or small?
Probably mount sized. I can't imagine he's gonna go back to being a full size Midgardsormr after this. I would be hard pressed.
I think he eventually has to.
I mean, he's got to grow up and be Big Daddy Midi again one day, but I don't think that it's going to have happened between 3.0 and 3.3. Granted, between 2.5 and 3.0, he became, slightly bigger Midgardsormr, so it's hard to tell. But it's questionable of why we're going. I mean, here's the thing: it makes sense that Hraesvelgur's the last boss because we were wondering why we were fighting Moglin. But that's the thing, like, why is Moglin there as opposed to at their place? That's why I'm hard-pressed to believe this isn't just some long string of tests for... Because, what are we going to kill Hraesvelgur's brood? We're going to kill those dragons? It might show them dying, but I can't imagine them legit dying. Like, because that's fucked up. Like, I'm going to test you, and my children are going to die. I want them to die. I want you to kill my children so that I can trust you.
That's a shit daddy.
Yeah, that's a shit daddy. I would say so myself. Then again, after Midgardsormr's example, I can't really blame them for not exactly knowing how to be a father figure. At least I wouldn't be surprised. Either way, it's funny that now we're talking about Sorkai. Sorkai's not even part of the main scenario part, Sly. Now we're out of order. We'll just skip it later.
We'll skip it.
We'll skip it later. I mean, here's the thing. The problem is Sorkai and the final steps of faith both kind of play into the very first thing we see, which is the main scenario.
Right.
But, I mean, there's got to be more to the main scenario than we walk up, we talk to an NPC, and all of a sudden the next however long is just Ishgard getting shit on.
So if it's not part of this main scenario, where exactly does it fit in? Because
it's all part of the main story. It's all part of the main story. It's just that...
There's a link to it and us fighting Nidhogg again, but I don't know which comes first, Nidhogg or Sorkai.
It's definitely Sorkai, because here's the thing. When Lucia says... we have to wait for Aymeric to return, it's very clear that he's gone to see Hraesvelgur personally, and that he's returning from that. Because he pops up right there at the end, and he protects her from the falling debris.
Right.
So we're going to get those Aymeric-Lucia fanfics, probably, this patch at some point. We already know Lucia has interest in him, and he's kind of too busy with the war, so now that the war's over, maybe he'll finally friggin' do something.
He's going to make babies.
He's going to make babies. He's going to make half Garlean babies. But, it was weird to me the way they approached this trailer. I mean, normally, even when it comes down to their trailers, Square Enix is very predictable. But it was strange to me that they started with the main scenario, then put Sorkai at the end, and then Nidhogg at the end. I mean, I understand that's kind of like your highlight of the patch, and they always save the highlight of the patch for the very end, which is usually the main scenario itself. But I think that kind of the idea was, it reminds me of the 2.5 trailer, where it leads with the 2.5 main scenario, and the trailer ends with the 2.55 main scenario. I think it's kind of the same way, where it's like, here's part one, and then Nidhogg himself is like a finale, in a sense.
So if we're shutting things down with Nidhogg here, and this is kind of post 3.3 speculation, how the fuck are they going to end Heaven's Ward? With
us going to Alamigo. I mean, that's the thing. Literally, that's what's so strange about these main scenario is, like I said this with 2.0 to 2.55. There was never really a conclusion to that. It was just story event after story event leading up to Heaven's Ward. Literally all of 2.1 to like 2 points to 3.0 or to 2.55 was lead up to us eventually getting to Ishgard, because the events of 2.1 and 2.2 all just kind of like, they introduced Igiri, they set up us becoming a more prominent figure, and then 2.3 when the Defenders of Eorzea are made, and then 2.4 when we finally actually start working together with Ishgard. Like, there was no real, what felt like a conclusion. It was just 2.1, 2.2, 2.3. Everything was an introduction to new characters.
Right.
There's no solid conclusion. We're getting a definitive conclusion to Heaven's Ward in this patch, and now the remaining two patches are setting up for an expansion, whereas they kind of just... they've littered it about, but now it's literally all of this is flat out, here's us getting ready for the expansion.
And that's what kind of irks me about it, is that we're closing out the the Dragons on War, quote unquote, dispatch. Yet there are still dragons who we haven't seen who probably don't give a fuck about this war. Yet we still know they're out there.
And Tiamat's still locked up.
Tiamat's still locked up. Free my baby, Big T. Free her.
She doesn't want to be freed. She's suffering for her transgressions. She accepts her fate.
I think she's going to be free once the Dragons on War ends. Once we get closer to Alamigo, we will have a need for Big T.
I don't know. That's the only other thing I'm kind of curious about at this point. When we conclude the Dragonsong War, it's sort of implied that Hraesvelgur's brood we will be at peace with, because that's been kind of like a long-term goal. How does that play into the future of the story? Like, that's a pretty important detail. It's not just like we don't have to kill dragons anymore, because we definitely are going to keep killing dragons. But it's like we now literally have an allied brood of Midgardsormr's children with us. And how does that play into our war with Alamigo? Is that another ally for us to take against the Garleans? Are they an ally in that war, or are they just at peace with Ishgard? Like, where does it all stand is really the next question.
Yeah, and that plus the speculation with the Omega weapon and Shinryu.
Yeah,
just don't know where it fits.
And there's a question of if Shinryu is even a child of Midgardsormr. We're assuming that he is. He could still be his own entire entity that is completely
true, but
it's unlikely.
When we talked about this like months ago, we were talking about how many dragons there were, how many we've gone through so far, and how many and which ones are left.
And we know that we have Fafnir, who is still remaining,
right?
Who's off somewhere. Let's see. Redditosker's dead. Nidhogg is about to die. Hraesvelgur, we've kept track of.
Bahamut's already dead, but the people were talking a few months back, like we would read the whole Bahamut thing, and I don't really see that happening.
Not really.
No.
And then you have Fafnir, and then there's just the two remaining ones that I don't really know of.
Yeah.
And then, but here's the thing: it's like I find it hard to think of Shinryu as a child of Midgardsormr with his history in Final Fantasy. Mm-hmm. Like, it makes sense for Fafnir, it makes sense for Nidhogg, it makes sense for Redditosker. Like, none of those are like dragons that have like be-all, end-all experiences and are supposed to be consistent throughout the different games. That's the thing about Shinryu. He's supposed to be consistent between the games. And from what I remember, Tiamat's not one of the 7. Because I don't think Tiamat's considered, because Tiamat's a completely different type of dragon. All the other 7 dragons that are the direct children of Midgardsormr, they all look like Hraesvelgur and Nidhogg. They don't look like Tiamat. Tiamat is like completely different looking. It could just be that she's like the fucking ugly duckling of them all, and she just looks different. Because
why's she gonna be ugly?
That picture, I don't know. I got to look at that picture of the 7 dragons again. Because I don't recall any dragon that looked like Tiamat being in the artwork with the 7 dragons. Because that is, we literally have artwork. And then, but the thing is, by dragon terms, every single dragon that has ever been born is a son or daughter of Midgardsormr. Like, that's the thing, by dragon qualities, like, dragons have a bunch of fucked up weird things that you guys need to keep in mind. Incest is considered okay within dragon broods. That's one thing.
Are you saying they're southern?
Yes. Yeah. And also, with every dragon on the hierarchy that is above a specific dragon is now its father or mother. Like, it's not like direct biological necessarily, but it's like anything on the hierarchy that is above it will be he's the father of Midgardsormr is the father of all dragons. So of course he refers to Tiamat as daughter. You know what I mean? That doesn't necessarily mean it's a direct brood kind of thing.
Right.
So I gotta find the picture somewhere. Or dragons reproduce asexually. Well, yeah, but they still have lovers. Love is still a thing. You know what I mean?
And Durgan love.
Yeah, they still have Durgan love. Tiamat herself says Bahamut's the lover. But that's what I'm saying. I just need to see the picture of the 7 dragons that have that, and I need to see if.
But for the most part, we just know that they're shit parents, according to all the dragons in Annex Shrine, because they're always losing their fucking children, and we got to go find them.
Pretty much.
They're fucking daycare.
There you go. Yeah, and Tiamat was a consort, so it's like even if they reproduce asexually, they're still fucking going on there. There's still fucking going on, because literally the last boss of one is Tiamat is a consort of Nidhogg, so there's still fucking going on somewhere. That's all I'm gonna say.
Can we get a quote of that, please? Someone in chat.
Yeah,
please.
There's still like
there's still fucking going on.
It's the truth. There absolutely is still there. Okay, so we could talk about that. The big thing is we get to see the scene on the final steps of faith, which is the final confrontation with Nidhogg, and then we also have what's it called? The events in Sorkai. What else is happening here? Like, there has to be a lead up to, there has to be a teaser for 3.4. There has to be the eventual, like, we did it, we win, yay. What else is happening here? Do you think we're going to get a 45-minute cutscene here? Like, do you think the battle...
No, it's too soon for a 45-minute cutscene, and alongside the whole we did it thing, like, Square has a thing for proving us wrong that you didn't really do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, you may have stopped.
You've accomplished
war, but
nothing.
there's still something going on. You only stopped one thing in the long doom train of things to come.
All I know is that I want a teaser for Doom Train. Anyway, moving on.
Now we've kind of talked about like the story implications of Sorkai and Final Steps of Faith. Now going back to last week, we were talking about mechanics, and we finally get a glimpse of mechanics.
So by the way, I'm calling Hap Jesus on this one. Okay. I said that we were probably going to have a full-on council fight for Moglin, very akin to Good King. That's absolutely the fucking case. You can see the Gladiator Moogle covering him. You can see the other ones making AoEs and shit. It's not going to be like Good King Mogomaga exactly. It's going to be a much easier fight overall, but it's still a thing. Like, we're not just going to fight one Moogle when all these Moogles are responsible for us going around picking up baskets. I want them all dead. I do. Skin them.
Ross, I'm sorry.
Skin those Moogles. Skin those Moogles.
I'm sorry.
Make a carpet out of them.
I'm a Moogle hater a little bit, but not that much. I'm not saying skin the fucking Moogles. Good lord. And the Hraesvelgr fight. When I saw the platforms, the one thing I thought about was Spectral Keeper in Final Fantasy X.
You know what I thought of?
What?
The Kraken.
Why? Oh,
because I remember the nightmare of coordinating people jumping between platforms, and there are a lot more platforms. I have a feeling jumping between the platforms is not going to be, how do I say, as annoying here, because it's not like Kraken where you have the one tentacle that's following the tank, and then the tank has to jump to another platform, and then it goes under, but then he has to leave that platform, so he goes back, and then all of a sudden the tentacle's just like vroom, 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 over and over again. Which I don't think will happen here. It'd still be annoying a little bit, but I have a feeling it's annoying.
And like when you said Kraken, I mean, I went back and thought, like, yeah, it's a little bit like Kraken, but the one thing I thought about was Spectral Keeper from 10, where you had to, move people to certain platforms to avoid getting hit.
Is that how that fight goes? You want to know how my version of that fight went?
How?
I hit him once and he was dead. That was my version of the fight.
Oh god. Wait. What summon did you fucking use?
Bahamut. I literally had him bitch slap with Bahamut. Literally just walked up, bitch slap, dead. Mechanics. What? Thank you, Bahamut, for hitting for fucking 50k right there.
You bitched out. You bitched out of a good fight.
I didn't even overlevel. At that point, all I did was continue through the game, and Bahamut was just hitting for 50.
You bitched out of a good fight. I didn't have overdrive. Oh, yeah, I didn't have overdrive for the fight. I usually don't.
I didn't need it. I didn't need fucking overdrive for that fight. That's all I know. Right. So since we were already on talking about Nidhogg and the main story and mechanics and all that funky stuff, Nidhogg. Remember when I said how every dragon fight looks the same to me? It didn't do much to dispute that until the very end.
True.
It pretty much...
It looks like Vishap?
No, it doesn't look anything like Vishap. It looks like every dragon I've ever fought before. It's like, okay, so it starts the part for Final Steps of Faith, and it shows, okay, Fire Breath attack. What is the next thing it shows? Okay, shoots AoEs, Fire Breath attack, that covers half the friggin' platform. Third, ads that we've all fought before, Tharl, and Kosh. Tharl, and Kosh, which are all the bosses from the Fates, or the Darkscale Fates. Darkscale himself's dead, but in this case, that's if it's not Tharl Uman-Kosh, then it's because we killed them. I'm pretty sure it's generals just like Tharl Uman-Kosh, and then you kill those, and then he's got a wing attack that does AoE damage, fantastic, and then he goes into the super attack, and that's when the fight will probably change pretty different. I hope there's twisters, man. That would be great.
So anyway. It'll change a la Seth.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. Except he's the opposite. He goes from being really big to being really small.
Really small, but really powerful.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like, that's the thing, though. Like, when I see a dragon fight, pretty much the way you make a dragon fight more interesting is what they did at the very end, where he becomes Nidstinian, pretty much, or Esthog. I prefer Nidstinian over Esthog. Like, come on now. Like, that's just, yeah. Oh, and that's right. And the fire breath attack was a dive bomb. I would also like to point out.
Oh, so we're getting those back. Yay.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying right now. Is like I wasn't impressed until the very end, pretty much. The music phenomenal, but I mean, I have a feeling the hard mode is not going to be that bad. And it also looks like we're not just using one small part of the Steps of Faith; that we are actually traveling between segments.
So you think there's a beginning / end road?
Well, I think what probably happens is you probably start on the end platform against Nidhogg, and he probably knocks you back onto that middle platform, and then you get back onto the first platform. That's what it looked like to me, because it definitely is at least using 2 platforms. I don't know if it's using the third one, and you could probably fall off of both of the platforms.
So you don't think there's like a kind of time frame like there was with?
No, if you all die, that fight's starting over. It's not like Vishap who's going to creep up for 6 minutes, be like, guys, we're fucking dead, but we got to wait for this shit to end. And then all of a sudden, just you respawn and the ads just at the very end just start booking it towards the beginning.
Right.
And you're just like, that's actually how I tried to solo Steps of Faith back when it was like I won 80, I won 90. When I died, I just ignored the ads as warrior. Every time I died, I would wait for them to almost reach me, and then I would take the shortcut to Vishap, be like, I have until they get to me. Do as much damage as possible, please. And now it's way more doable, but it was still funny.
Right.
It looks like it'll be a fun fight. I got to see more of the extreme mechanics, because those are very clearly the hard mode mechanics that we're seeing there. They didn't show us anything of major substance. They never do. Yeah, they never show us the extreme version, because that's not what the trailer is showing. The trailer just shows the final Steps of Faith. It doesn't show final Steps of Faith hard and extreme, or whatever the fuck they're going to call it. It was fun, though, and I look forward. I wonder if the music's going to change in the second half of the fight, or if it's going to be like Answers, where it starts at one part and then
loops that part until you get to another phase. Yeah. And
then by the very end, I wonder if it'll be just Dragon Song at the very end, or if it'll be Dragon Song all throughout, or if they'll Sephiroth us and it'll just be Power Man 5000 for the final half of the fight,
or a Dragon Song remix.
Hashtag sued. Yeah, maybe a Dragon Song remix also. I wouldn't be opposed to that. I mean, it's already kind of a tiny bit of a remix that we're hearing there, but only because of all the game sounds and whatnot. Hopefully, having the song in the game doesn't mess up people streaming on YouTube gaming, because I know that a lot of songs like that are Nobuo Uematsu or have Susan Calloway in them, they tend to get flagged on YouTube if you're not very careful about the way that they're played. So I'm fingers crossed that doesn't happen to anyone who ends up just wanting to use the track on YouTube for like a guide or anything, Just I hope that doesn't happen to anyone who makes guides, right, Sly? Dragon Song dubstep. Yeah, that would be probably amazing. Somebody get on that right now.
Dragon Song Monster Cat?
Yeah, no, just dubstep. Just dubstep. I don't even know how to. I was going to imitate it. I lost it. There you go. Okay. So, moving on from that, from the main story, Final Steps of Faith, all that, we go into the Weeping City of Mhach.
Oh, boy. Geometry.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not like we need to know the geometry. Ozma's just full of geometry. Yeah, I don't know how. You went super fucking quiet all of a sudden.
Did I?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Can you hear me?
Sort of.
Damn it.
Man, guys, get him a fucking microphone, please. Everyone watching, right? He's fading. He's fading. Oh, man. That happened before, but it went right back up afterwards. Here's what...
Oh, It changed the microphone audio on its own. I didn't touch anything.
You better keep that shit up on your screen at all times.
Yeah, I am now.
Yeah. Man, you have 2 really shitty headset microphones. Somebody get this man a real microphone, please. Anything at all. The the United Negro Microphone Fund. So let's see. We have for you. We have the United Negro Microphone Fund, the United Negro Dragoon Fund, and then then Ethis has the United Australian Get Me to FanFest Fund.
Yeah.
Which we'll probably shout out at some point. For those who don't know, Ethis is going to do his damnedest to get to Fan Festival, so you better expect to give him your money. What? Give him your money. Get this man to Fan Festival. That's all I'm saying. This man I don't care about. I've seen him at FanFest once before.
Yay!
Whatever. He'll be going though. All right, so then we have the Weeping City of Mhach. I really prefer calling it Mhach, even though I'm not Japanese.
No, it's Mhach. We've determined the name.
I know.
Determined the pronunciation. It's Mhach.
Yeah, but in Japanese it's Mhach, so like.
Are we really gonna go by the Japanese or the European pronunciation?
Because good luck having me explain that. Oh, Mhach. How the fuck do you get Mhach out of Mhach?
Yeah, where's the CH go?
The C is silent. There you go. The C is silent. I came up with an excuse. Anyone can come up with bullshit excuses. Just look at how shit's pronounced in Final Fantasy XI. Shit's got like 18 consonants, 1 vowel, and they just throw a fucking landmark at the end of it. Anyway, so we have this 24-man raid, and again, the scale on this thing is ridiculous. Like, it doesn't even look like you're in the raid from the beginning of it to the end of it. It literally looks like you're in 2 different places.
Yeah. Then again, well, no, Void Ark had a consistent kind of motif going the entire time. So yeah, I can see what you're saying there. Yeah. It's 2 totally separate places. Once you get to the entrance of the Weeping City and once you actually get inside the pyramid, quote unquote.
Yeah. I mean, that's cool. Every time I see it, I'm like, I want to do more than 1 fucking raid in this zone. It just upsets me that there's not more in this zone than just this one thing. Because this is, like, literally this place looks bigger than Heavensward zones. Like, that's the kind of scale. A lot of it's obviously blocked off and it's non-functional. And a lot of it's for just scale, but goddamn, dude. Like, add some collision. Like, if I can glitch through the walls in 90% of the zones and find collision in the most random-ass places, you could fucking design collision here and put a quest here and there. I'll take it. I just want to do it. We literally...
You just want to freely explore. Okay, if that's the case, would you be happy going back and freely exploring the Void Ark, or is that unnecessary?
Well, I mean, the thing is, we saw all of the Void Ark. Like, we went through the entire thing to the control room.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of background stuff that we probably missed.
Yeah, for lore's sake, I wouldn't mind going back and analyzing it. But whereas it comes to the Weeping City, it's a city. It's not one ship. And we don't go through the whole city. We go from the literal outskirts of the city, into the center of the city, which is the pyramid, into the fucking alternate realm that is Ozma, because he's in a fucking anomaly when it comes to everything about him, into the tip of the pyramid with Califasteri from Final Fantasy V.
Right.
Which somebody finally did figure out somebody pointed out that was the last... Well, it was a boss. It was the first boss that Exdeath sends against you once he gains control of the Void, so... No, that does not mean Exdeath will be in the fucking next part, guys. Before anyone goes there, we're saving him.
He will be in 4.0 though.
Yeah, I'm still banking on.
We're calling that. No. I threw that out first like months ago. We're getting Exdeath.
So here's the thing: I don't think we'll get Exdeath. But I do think that we'll get like the 5th Legion will be basically Exdeath. The leader of the 5th Legion will be basically Exdeath. Something.
So he's a Garlean.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's just because that's what's about to happen to Regula, and we'll talk about that even though it's not in the trailer in a little bit.
Right.
But the Weeping City, a lot of new character models, a lot of fancy animations, and a lot of things I'm very afraid of for the day 1 in the duty fight. Like, by the end of week 1, it won't matter, but, like, day 1.
Yeah, it usually gets sorted out second or third day. That's how World of Darkness was. That's how Void Ark was. It doesn't take a week.
Man, Cuchulainn, whatever, was just not a pleasant experience on day one. Cuchulainn was a disaster on day one.
I didn't have a problem with it.
I didn't, because I spent 16 hours fighting Sephiroth, and by that time everyone had figured it out, so I just went in. It's like, thank the Lord. Thank the Lord. And one of the most important things to point out, and this was brought up in the last live letter, was that they wanted Final Fantasy IX music in the Weeping City, and they didn't know if they was going to make it in. But if you listen, that actually is the Final Fantasy IX battle theme remixed. It's very indistinguishable unless you like really like put them side by side and listen. But
so the devs got Final Fantasy IX on Steam. I'm guessing, like
you know what's really strange? The only thing that entire city has anything to do with Final Fantasy IX is Ozma. Everything else has nothing to do with Final Fantasy IX. But no, they're just gonna throw it in there because of Ozma. Like, it's cool. I don't mind. I mean, the Final Fantasy II battle theme, I think gets used for like. You know how, like, whenever they do those like, things that show off the glamour, those videos where it's just, like, a bunch of poses and minions and stuff? That's, like, I think that's the Final Fantasy II or Final Fantasy III battle theme. And the one that gets used for B-rank hunts, I think that's all, like, that theme. So, I mean, they use that shit all over the place. They'll use it whenever.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, overall, it looks beautiful. And since it'll probably drop I-230 stuff, it's going to be fairly relevant. Just like Void Ark was. Just to think about that, man, I have to work on my ninja anima. I have all 5 24-mans to do. Like, a lot of 24-man raids to do now. Holy mother of Jesus. Are you gonna be upgrading some of your gear in friggin' Mhach?
In Mhach? Probably.
What do you have that's not I-230?
Pretty much everything else. Bird, which I haven't even touched. That's pretty much it. Like, other than that, my goon is good, but bird, I really need to go back and touch it a little bit.
Yeah, you confused me when you said bird, because obviously we're getting a new primal pigeon with Neathooger.
Neathooger. Yeah, I always call my birdman.
Yeah, bird, because it's the word.
Bird is the word.
We're getting that dance. Oh, that scared. So on the website, we read the website to see if there's anything we need to cover there other than the Warring Triad, which we don't really need to cover. But I noticed that when it shows the new emotes and the new dancing, it references the Moogles. So that Johnny Bravo dance might actually be a Moogle dance. I didn't, because it says that this dance, that the new emotes will whimsy something. I don't know.
Are we talking about the disco pose that he had?
Well, I'm calling it the... No. The disco pose is a different thing. This one looks like Johnny Bravo's Do the Monkey With Me. Do the monkey with me. Come on. Yeah, exactly. Here, I'll read it word for word.
Please don't get that. Sorry.
Somebody gift that real quick. He realized way too late what he had done. Yeah. Let's see. I'm going to read it word for word what it says when it shows that Lalafel's doing the monkey with me. New emotes with a wink and a smile, or perhaps even a merry Moogle dance. These new emotes will add a touch of whimsy to your character. And it shows them what looks like doing the... And with the pompadour, like I said, the Johnny Bravo... The Johnny Bravo. And you know what's even better about gifting?
It's not a Johnny Bravo hairstyle.
It's not, but it's as close to a Johnny Bravo hairstyle as we're ever going to get. And we're getting the Do the Monkey With Me. Like, you know that, right? You have to think about those. And we're also getting the wink emote. You have everything you need to womanize people to be Johnny Bravo.
When I think of that hairstyle, I think of, like, Japanese gang members.
I think of Kuwabara mostly.
Yeah, that's what I was...
There you go.
Say, or
most people refer to JoJo, which I guess is like a more recent anime thing. Did you just eat your microphone by accident?
Hmm?
Did you just eat your microphone by accident?
No.
It looked like you needed to blow the microphone out of your mouth.
No.
Yeah. Hey, Kuwabara. Listen, Sabat. I don't need your shit right now. But anyway, moving on from that point to Weeping City, are you not gonna do it? What if it's got music sheets, bro?
Let them shit sell now.
Listen, I sold one for $22K the other day, alright?
Ooh!
That's better than fucking
Which
nothing.
Which one was it?
Circus Tower. One of the two from Circus Tower. There's two.
First of all, what prompted you to go do Circus Tower?
I need my oils for my ninja anima.
Oh yeah.
Don't fucking shake your head at me, Mr.
Carry on.
Mr.
Carry on.
One Anima over here. Mr. Bitched out at one.
That's all I fucking need. You think I want to do this shit like 8 times? No.
No, you do it twice. Do it for your bard.
Nope.
Be a man. Do the right thing.
No.
It'll be best in slot.
Ooh.
You better be saving up those poetics and those lore tomestones because you're gonna need them, buddy.
I have. Like, my poetics are maxed. They've been maxed out. I knew this was coming. So, phrasing. I haven't used my poetics for anything. I've been getting like, if I would have used my poetics, I would have had like at least a shit ton, if it wasn't capped. But because I do my beast tribes, I still do my beast tribes, and every time I just do it for the materia, and I always get that message: you cannot get any more poetics. Are you sure you want this? I'm like, fine, fuck him. I'm saving my poetics anyway.
All right, fair enough. So, how often are you gonna do Weeping City then? Are you gonna? Because here's the thing: it's not like they've said that we're getting grade 5 materia from it, like we did the Void Arc, or and we don't know about any other Machi farthings, like newer ones that we might get from it yet. So I guess the question is, are we going to start with Machi farthings? I think we will. I think we'll be able to at least spend the Machi farthings on accessory upgrades. The new Machi farthings.
Well.
Not the old ones. The ones.
No. Like, the thing I want to know is, when are we going to get to the point where we get the farthings for weapon upgrades? Because that was a part.
3.4. We didn't get the farthings weren't used for weapon upgrades until 3.2. It's debatable though, because the reason why they weren't used till 3.2 is because it was to upgrade to 210, which was the highest item level weapon available at the time.
Right.
I guess the question is now. Like, the thing is, they don't want Nidhogg is not going to be 240. He's definitely going to be I-235 weapons. Right. The thing. So if they give it to us through Void Arc, then it's like, what the fuck? Like Nidhogg is immediately rendered useless. I don't think we're going to see it.
People will still do it, but
no, they won't.
Fuck, they won't. Like,
they'll beat it once and never.
No. Well, they'll beat it, but in
Just
terms of fun factor of the fight, people will actually still go back and do it.
Yeah, that's what you think. Not until people can roll over it and get their pigeon mounts. Like Ravana.
That ain't gonna happen.
There's a reason why people farm Ravana and Bismarck mounts more than they do Thornton mounts, because they want to roll over that shit.
True.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though I'm unlucky with rolls, as a lot of people have obviously seen. Not only with pigeons, but with just fucking anything. I roll for shit.
Sly rolls for shit, guys. If you got Dookie, he'll roll on it.
God damn it.
Dookie.
Carry on.
Carry on, I will. I will indeed. So what was after that? Let's see. We had what's it called? Is it Hullbreaker? I gotta actually pull up the trailer and see what the order is.
Yeah, that's what I had to do. I was like, what the we kind of went out of order.
What is the order? Yeah, because I blame your ass. I had it all planned out, and then you went out of order. And I was like, Sly, why are you going out of order? And you're just like, I hate you, Happy. That's why. That's the only reason. There's no other potential reason that I could go out of order like that and ruin the flow of the show. It's all right. I have it up right now. Yeah, I had a feeling I knew it was Moogle or Hullbreaker next, which we already touched upon the Moogles because I started talking about the dancing. Mm-hmm. So for a beast tribe that specifically says it's for crafters, there was a distinct lack of crafting from this trailer. They literally just show them flying around on the mount and, like, making dragons sneeze. Pretty much.
And then Moogle miners.
I like how both the Vath and the Moogles are literally just like, let's make these dragons our friends, please. I mean, granted, the Moogles were already friends, and the Vath were, like, debatable because the Nath themselves were enemies with the dragons, but... I just don't know why they show the Moogles hitting shit with a pickaxe, doink, 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 doink. And they show how ridiculously you look flying around on a fucking dandelion.
New mount, first of all.
Yeah, that'll be from them.
Yeah.
Crafter mount. You better have those crafters leveled.
Use that.
Who's gonna what?
I wonder how many people are gonna actually.
Whoever has crafting and actually wants to sit through ranking up their Moogle Beast Tribe quests. That's who. I got crafters at 50. Maybe I'll do it.
I have crafter at 50.
Yeah, actually, I have 2 or 3. I definitely have Carpenter at 50 as well.
Yeah, that's the one.
I have Goldsmith. Goldsmith was the first one I did. Where was I gonna go with that? Somebody will use it. I mean, I guess the bigger question is for the animal weapon. Like, for the 200 to 210 step, they used the Realm Reborn Beast Tribe quest other than the Ixal. You think this one's going to use the new step is going to have the Heavensward Beast Tribes as one of them?
Yep. Why not both?
Because that's a little bit redundant to have to use the Realm Reborn for both and then only use Heavensward for the new ones. And then that just encourages people to go back and do the Realm Reborn ones more, because if they haven't done the 210 step yet, they can rank all those up, and then they'll just kill two birds with one, well, I guess, daily in this case. 2 birds for 1 daily. I don't know if I'm going to do these Moogles. Beast Tribes quest.
When you get bored and start to work on your crafters, you will.
Slyh, it's been 3 years. You're telling me that now that's going to happen?
For me, it's been a matter of months, so it's not been as long for me. I mean, I'll get a momentary, like when we have a lull and there's not shit to do, I'll probably go back and do it. Like power level it through money, because why not?
Yeah, that fund's got to be used for something, right?
Right.
Exactly. Right. All right. So with that out of the way, with the Moogles, we move on to. Let's see, if I'm not mistaken, it is Hullbreaker Hard Mode, which has phenomenal music, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
actually impressed with what it's totally different from what I thought it was going to be, which was another Halatali. It kind of is, but it's like the ending surprised me. The final boss surprised me.
All I want to know is why the fuck has he not been fighting with us before? If he's good, if he's strong enough to need 4 people to beat, what the fuck has he been doing this whole? What useless bullshit has he been working with before? I soloed Ralban, and now you're telling me Mistbreak needs 4 people? Like, what the fuck? And then Merle,
Merle's just sitting back, like, she got popcorn. She is just sitting back watching this shit with a smile. I love that. It goes to show how much the city-states, their leaders, are so quote-unquote uninvolved. Amric's the only one who is hands-on. I'll go ahead and say, even for Kanye Senna, mine.
Don't call her Kanye Senna.
Kanye Senna.
She'll let you finish, I promise.
I'll let you finish.
Giggity.
I'll let you finish, Nanama. I'll let you finish. Give me 1 second. But it just comes to show how uninvolved they are. Amric's the only one of the city-state leaders who is hands-on. He gets in there, and everybody else, nobody else took part of the grand melee. Merle, you are a machinist. You can do machinist things.
She's not really a machine. She's a musketeer.
Are we really going to call her that?
Yeah, that's what she is. That's the Musketeers. That's what it was dubbed in the game itself. That is the Musketeers Guild. That's where they go to teach people how to use guns in Limsa Lominsa.
But yeah, that was like Mistbreaker.
Miss Beard,
excuse me. When was the last time we actually saw him?
2.3, like Leviathan, and 2.2.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What prompted them to bring him up now more than ever?
That's the thing. Does it end up even mattering that it's him that we're fighting? That's the question. Is it relevant at all that it's him we're fighting? Probably not. It's probably just, hey, you've reached the end of our exercises, so now fight the strongest guy here. Rawr! That's what he does. He goes, ooh! And he cocks his big head back and just looks like a knobhead.
A knobhead?
Yeah, a knobhead. And then he just has treasure chests all over the place, which...
Yeah, I wonder how that's going to play into the mechanics. I mean, I know I see them explode.
Somebody opens one of them, and then he shoots an explosion in all their directions, and then 2 of the closed ones explode. So I don't know.
What if one's a mimic?
Honestly, that's what it looks like. It looks like if you open the wrong one, it blows up in your fucking face.
Right.
And it wrecks your mouth. That's what it looks like to me. I mean, honestly, it's probably one of the better looking recycled hard modes that we've had since Amdapor and Wanderers. I don't know. I wasn't too impressed by some of the hard modes we got earlier, like friggin' Pharos hard mode.
So are you impressed with this one? Because on a scale of 1 to 10, in comparison to Halatali, I think this is actually better than Halatali.
It looks better. I wasn't too excited when we went back to Halatali. It was like, this looks way cooler. And the music's way cooler as well.
So what we're saying is the Twin Adder one is going to be the best one. Got it.
Yeah, I don't know where the fuck the Twin Adders are going to open up their shit. I still think that they should just use the West Shroud. They should just take the West Shroud, turn it into a training ground, and then make the West Shroud a dungeon. We're never going to go back there. That shit was leveled, all right? Destroyed, unlivable, unmoved, like you can't even move across it. It's a complete disaster. Mm-hmm. All right, so then after that we had my favorite thing to pronounce, the Aquapolis.
Aquapolis.
Which doesn't really show us anything. It shows us the Cyclops boss that was mentioned last time, but there's a secret here in the Aquapolis teaser that a lot of people caught on to. There's dyed Dreadworm gear at this point in the trailer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's dyed Dreadworm gear at this point in the trailer as they're going through the Aquapolis. So what they did to first and second coil, final coil, looks like they'll now be getting some new recipes that they'll have to be on the lookout for.
Glamour is the true end game.
Do you think that drops in the Aquapolis, or do you think that's going to drop in final coil? I think it's going to drop in final coil.
It's in final coil. There's no reason to throw that into the Aquapolis.
Yeah, I just think it was an odd time for them to specifically showcase dyed Dreadworm. It looks like mostly the Aquapolis is there for materia, crystals, and then the occasional map item plus like unique minions and stuff. Like it looks like it's there mostly for materia. I wonder if you can get crafting and gathering materia from it too. Considering that you have to gather a map theoretically if you don't just purchase them.
I can't see it. I can't see it putting in something that's more battle oriented than anything.
I don't know. I guess like they said that they wanted to increase the amount of ways to get gathering and crafting material, and we're still kind of in the dark a little bit.
I don't think they want to increase it, but they won't throw it over to the battle side. Like here, like you fight this, you get gathering material.
I just figure it could be anything. What? Like fuck it, I'll get fire materia. I can't wait to get to the 7th floor and get fucking fire 5 materia.
When another question: when are they gonna throw that out? When are they gonna just completely toss elemental material?
They're never gonna do it because it's there strictly for you to gamble with at this point. It's for you to take to the transmutation NPC and go, all right, this shit sucks. Let me make real materia out of this. And never mind, I got water 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or I got int 5. Extremely valuable materia right there. Int 5 materia. 10 out of 10. Would int again.
Yeah.
So it doesn't showcase anything new other than the dyeable Dreadworm gear, really. And then we get, in very recent Hildibrand fashion, we get a flex and a send-off, pretty much.
So, 20 minutes?
Yeah, so 20-minute quest instead of 15 minutes.
Like last one was like 10 or 5. This one, 20 minutes?
Well, the thing is, so we see, this looks like what happens basically just before Vivi is given like a Lalafell body. Mm-hmm. Pretty much, because it looks like he's trying to learn from the Hildibrand family. And this literally has to be one of the first events we see after the end of the quest, because Hildibrand's still busted from when dear old daddy shoved him into the snow.
Right.
So, I mean, Gigi here, he's learning how to flex like a Manderville man, and then Godbert's gonna give him a new body, so...
Yeah, looking at this section of the trailer, there wasn't much shown. So that usually
the thing about Hildibrand is there literally nothing more needs to be shown because this is all that is ever relevant to the Hildibrand series.
That's true, but in the past, when we saw the patch trailers and we saw the Hildibrand part, we saw a certain something and we knew, oh shit, we're getting a fight out of this. We're not getting a fight out of this. We're not getting anything out of this.
Maybe in 3.5.
It kind of disappoints me because Hildibrand actually is one of my favorite parts of Final Fantasy XIV side quests. Like there was a lot of substance to it, whereas in 3.0 there hasn't been a lot of substance. I feel like they put Hildibrand on the back burner. And
Hildibrand came back by demand. So they haven't had as much time to really develop this Hildibrand. They're kind of throwing it together as it comes. Like, I mean, I say that because like 3.2, like they didn't do it in 3.1. 3.2, they were like, oh, people liked Hildibrand, so let's make a new storyline for him. Mm-hmm. And then that was the result. It wasn't like 2.x where before 2.0 even came out, they had this entire series. We had already seen Gilgamesh.
Right.
That was planned out so far in advance. This has had less planning. Mm-hmm. So it's probably the result of that, in all honesty.
So
this is also, I think I also want to point out, I think this is the first time Hildibrand's popped up in a trailer and his music hasn't been present with him.
Wait, was there no Hildibrand music?
No, there's no Hildibrand. Here, I'll play the audio right here. I'll play the. You won't be able to hear it, but they'll be able to hear it. Here.
That's fine.
It's more like a VV version of it, I guess. It's barely distinguishable as his music, but it's like a GG version. It's like it's almost like they Final Fantasy 9'd it, or a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
It's much less distinguishable as his theme, and it sounds more like Gigi's theme than over anything else. But it's definitely some sort of remix on the Hildibrand theme. It's the first time it hasn't been his music, though, like outright his theme.
Now, my question is, where do you think the direction of Hildibrand is going to go with the remaining patches that 3.0 has left? You think they're planning more for 4.0?
I think there'll be one fight.
Just one?
I think that 3.5 you'll probably see a Hildibrand trial.
And that's it for 3.0?
Yeah, and then I don't know about 4.0. 4.0, I think that they probably want to... I think they want to do something that's not Hildibrand, but, like, everyone kind of wants more of what we had in the 2.x series of Hildibrand. So maybe if people still want Hildibrand around for 4.0 or 4.x series, maybe they'll further develop something that was like the 2.x series. But it's hard to tell because they're trying to do all these different new things, and I don't know if Hildibrand's going to necessarily be on that list of new things they want to try. And then after that, we had the most exciting part of the trailer, by the way. Flower pots. Flower pots!
Flower pots!
Like, I just want to point something out. Fucking flower pots got a point in the trailer. Fucking Warring Triad, which at least has one solo instance, did not get shit. Fucking flower pots got a spot. Because this is endgame. This is how you know even Square Enix knows this is endgame. You grow some flowers. Somebody watches you grow flowers, apparently, because someone's just sitting there watching the other person grow flowers. And then they're like, "Yeah, you did it, fantastic!" And then they put a flower in their hair and it's done. Maybe that's the crafter who's making the headdress. So they're sitting there like, "Yeah, when you're done growing the flowers, I'll make it for you." Are you gonna grow flowers? Are you gonna put a weed farm in the basement of the foxhole?
No.
No. It's not gonna be a script club / greenhouse.
Yeah, greenhouse. Nah.
No.
Strip club in the front, weed house in the back. Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
And then when they serve the brownies, you know what's going down.
Yeah.
There you go.
And then the next thing was the new hairstyles, I think.
Okay, I want to ask you something because I haven't been keeping track. How many Type 0 hairstyles are in the game at this point? Because at least one of these is a Type 0 hairstyle.
Yeah, the hairstyle you saw was 7.
Okay.
Sinks is 1. 9s is another. 7 was there. I want to say 4. I can't remember who the 4.
I feel like didn't they add 4 or 5 in one patch alone? I still don't have the esthetician unlocked, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Okay, well, there's a bunch of new hairstyles. The pompadour, of course, being one of the big ones. The Johnny Bravo / Kuwabara, and it has physics too. Like when you move, the pompadour shakes from left to right and stuff. So good to know that hair physics are an important thing. Then next they showed off. So what was actually interesting is they lead the trailer by showing off the diamond feast gear. That's the very first thing that they show under new gear. Looks pretty sick. I like how it looks on the characters better.
We've known what it would look like.
Yeah, but I mean, I forgot what it looked like on characters, like, because you got to remember that in about 6 to 7 weeks, the first feast season is ending, and these rewards are going to get dished out. So, yeah.
And the thing about this is, a lot of people are taking a break from it. So, take advantage of it. Go feast.
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter if somebody's seriously contemplating being in the top however many percentages. Those people aren't taking a break. Those people are making sure they stay at the top. Like if I look over at feast rankings for solo queue for Gilgamesh for Ether, I still see Nex, Chia, and Stragus, and then Stragus is also 3rd place in party rankings. So yeah, the people who are still serious about it, it hasn't really changed for them.
Right.
It's the placings everywhere in between that you kind of got to consider. And a lot of people come back in 3.5, and when there's like a week or two left in the season, everyone who actually wants the rewards is going to be like hardcore feasting. If you really want the rewards the week or two before the season ends, people will be going nuts. After that, we see the Beast Tribe gear, and I'm glad to see that they decided to do the Vath dance.
In the Beast, yeah.
Yeah. Even though that I'm
No,
gonna...
you mean the Vanu Vanu.
The Vanu Vanu, yeah, my bad. Everything begins with a V nowadays. The Vanu Vanu, it's good to see. I think that's a female Hume on the left, or here, I should say.
But either way, like the females dance, and when I first got it, and everybody would start doing it with me, I noticed that the females dance is a little more stiff.
They're not into it.
They're not as into it as the guys are. They're just
Yeah, then they're just like, okay. It's
they
like
look like automatons when they do it.
All right, you ready for this analogy?
Right.
It's like when white people, okay, when white people are at like a fair, and the chicken song comes on, and they're really into it. And now everyone else knows the chicken song, but white people get like into it, and I know.
Are we calling this the chicken dance? Is the Vanu the chicken dance?
It's the equivalent of the chicken dance in this case. Like you see, like da na 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 na, like that's like white people get really into it. Yeah, they get really into it, and everybody else is just looking at you like, okay, and like they know it and they can do it, but they're not gonna look enthused about it. That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah, whenever I see the female character models do it, they look like automatons. They look like robots trying to do it. Like.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. See, you understand. I'm glad that you understand. There we go. So, and I see that the chat is agreeing with me in this problem. Okay, so we get the different gear. We get the most scary looking outfit I've ever seen in my life, which is the pig outfit, which is from, I think, Final Fantasy... fuck. Which Final Fantasy is the pig outfit from? I can't remember right now.
10.
It's not.
Not the Moogle outfit. Sorry. No.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and even then you would be saying 10 too.
Yeah.
Because that's what the mascot outfits were, and I'm 99% sure that there was no pig. It's 4, Final Fantasy 4. I think it was Rydia. Okay. Yeah, it was.
I was thinking of the Moogle outfit. I was thinking of Yuna's Moogle outfit.
Yeah. And then they show the crafter gear. After that, they show Shatter, which we now know the rules of because they detailed them. And it's basic. It's secure, pretty much, with permanent objectives that randomly pop up across the map, as opposed to all congregating people into one section. Not bad, but I'm still not convinced that Shatter is going to be particularly popular with the feast still around.
Yeah, it'll be after the season ends.
I see. That's the thing. When this next season ends, the next season's going to immediately begin.
The reason it'll be popular is they're going to throw lore on it.
Yeah, there's lore on the feast.
People are just going to be there for the free chicken.
What if they just took all the lore out of the feast and just put it in here?
I would be amenable to that.
Yeah. One thing that was pretty interesting about this was that in the initial English translation, it says we are in the Eastern Corthan... I don't remember if it was Highlands. I just know that the English translation said we were in a completely different place than all the other translations. The English one says that we are in the Lowlands, where every other one says the Highlands.
Mm-hmm.
So we're in Eastern Corthus. That's all I really care about, to be honest. It's in Eastern Corthus. And what do you know? Let's read this very, very... No one could have seen that this was going to be the reason why we're fighting over this place, right? The remnants of that mad plan still litter the frozen lowlands, as well as the other ancient artifacts now laid bare. Though the powers that are in agreement that Nail's data must be secured, they remain divided on the subject of how to best administer the region, which has prompted them to invoke the same laws which transformed Cartno and Sealed Rock into a battlefield. Where words fail, weapons speak. So whenever you say use your words, I'm going to say weapons speak. Words fail, weapons speak.
I was going to say something about the pen mightier than the tongue, but I'm mightier than the sword, but yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's Allegan stuff, and now we can see it, and now we'll fight over it.
Again! Yay! Good job!
Yay! I would have never seen this coming.
Yeah.
Who would have ever seen this reason coming? Why else would we fight?
And when I saw this, and me thinking about like all the other front lines that we do, in 4.0, do you think once we get the next iteration of front lines, do you think we'll ever get out of the Allegan style of front
Be
lines?
fucking better, dude. I want to capture the flag or something. I want to capture a flag. I want to defend a base.
King of the Hill.
I mean, we kind of like every single one of these modes is at least a little bit King of the Hill.
Yeah, pretty much.
I want like a traditional just mode that isn't hold one of 3 points and then do something else on the map. Or in the case of slaughter, murder everyone, but sometimes murder different things.
Regicide. I still want Regicide.
All right, there you go. Yeah, capture the Allegan flag. God damn it. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't want to capture anything Allegans. Or defend an Allegan base. Yeah. We have occupied an Allegan base. We will now defend it. Why are we fighting over this area? Allegans. You ever see, you know that meme where it's the dude from the History Channel and it's just, he's holding his hands up and his hair is blown back? It's just Allegans.
Allegans.
There you go. That's the explanation for everything. Allegans. All right, next in the trailer was Deep Dungeon. And this was probably the best this was the best look we've probably gotten at Deep Dungeon ever. Mm-hmm. And it's unfortunate to know that it's not going to be when the like a lot of people see this trailer, they think that this is happening like on 3.3 day. They don't know that it's like not until 3.35. In the past, they usually would say what patch it is. I just guess they didn't think that was needed here. But
because everybody reads the preliminaries.
Yeah, everyone just reads preliminaries, which come out this Friday, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, preliminary patch notes this Friday. Looking forward to that. So it looks like we are entering via the Gulmoran Ruins, which FS predicted the Gulmoran Ruins in the South Shroud. South Shroud, yeah. By Buckaroons, whatever it is, brothers or whatever, I don't know.
Buscaroons Druthers.
Buscaroons Druthers, there you go, yeah, by that thing. And
how did I know that?
I don't know. It wasn't brothers. I'll tell you that much. We climbed down a ladder, and then... So, first of all, I want to point out that they made a very special point of showing this. They go in with 4 DPS.
Right.
It is important to note that they kind of... I guess they kind of want to imply... Like, they want people to understand you don't have to go with the traditional setup
composition.
Here. Yeah. Yeah, you're in no way restricted, and you'll probably still be able to do it. It's more about overcoming, like, the gimmicks and just not dying to mechanics and stuff like that. And there's a lot of gimmicks that you kind of get to see here. So first of all, to remember, these are randomly generated floors.
And Tartarus again. Excuse me.
Because that's the only game that's ever done a randomly. Fucking Diablo did randomly generated shit before your.
The only difference is Edda's the Grim Reaper.
We don't know that.
I'm still calling that.
It's not gonna fucking happen, Sly.
I'm sticking to it. Edda is the Grim Reaper.
Yeah, she's the Grim Reaper. She's not gonna come to the floors when you're a slow piece of shit. I don't, but I can damn well tell you.
I'm still like.
I wouldn't be if Edda showed up. If Edda showed up on a floor, I'd be like, let's fuck this bitch up. That's what I would do.
In early levels, really?
I don't give a shit.
In early, like when you were early level, did you really want to fuck with the Reaper? No, you ran the fuck away because if you got caught, you were fucking dead. Start over.
This bitch ain't the Reaper. I've fucked this bitch up once before. This ain't gonna be no problem.
All I can say is I hear the laughter, and that's not a part of the music. People are saying that the laughter was a part of music. No.
No, it really does sound like it's part of the music.
It does sound like it's part of the music, but that was actually Edda. Like, not in the music. She's there.
I don't know. I mean, it's hard to tell, because you hear it throughout the thing. Like, you hear it when she first appears, when it shows her, but they really do make it... It does sound like it's part of the music. I'm still willing to bet it is. You're going to hear her laugh constantly while you're in there. Not because she's the Reaper, because there's fucking just her laugh is in the music. Because her laugh was part of... This is a remix of the Tamtara theme.
Right.
And her laugh was in that.
True.
So you get to see a few things here right off the bat after entering the Gulmoran Ruins. First of all, it's 4 DPS. That's the first and most important thing.
Right.
The second thing is that the weapons, they're glowing. The way that they're glowing. Now, some people think we're getting new weapons. No. And I'm gonna be the naysayer that says the only reason the weapons are glowing is to sort of remind you where you are and that you're not at full strength. Like you're level 1. When you first zone in here, you are a level 1 Dragoon. You are a level 1 Monk. You are useless, basically. I think all that the weapon's glowing is signifying is that you are in that weakened state. I don't think these are new weapons. I don't think it's new glamour. I just think it's when you're in there, your weapons will look like that. I don't know if that's what you think, but that's what I think.
Yeah, I just think it's part of the quote-unquote gimmick / mechanics that they'll glow as you level until you get max.
Pretty much, in a nutshell.
Now,
yeah. So wait, I want to ask you something, Sly.
Okay.
How does it feel knowing that for the first 26 levels, you're just going to be spamming Impulse Drive inside of each dungeon? I gotta know how it's going to be to relive that exhilarating experience.
Oh boy, this is awesome. Again, yay.
How excited are you?
I'm can't wait. Can't wait.
Do you think that they'll actually restrict your abilities, or do you think they'll just like lower your actual effective level? I actually don't think that they will reduce the amount of. I think you'll be able to use all your abilities.
I don't because we don't know for a fact how the leveling is going to work, and then how at the rate of how you will get your skills. And how many floors did we say there were?
We've been guessing. There's no definitive answer on that yet. Actually, okay. I don't think we're going to restrict abilities at all. If they restrict abilities, it's not going to be a permanent thing. I think that maybe some floors or some instances may prevent you from using weapon skills, but that's about it. Now,
you think they'll restrict the abilities or the potency?
I don't think. Well, the thing is, potency is relevant to your level and your total stats. Mm-hmm. So if your gear is considered, as they've said, not relevant at all, like the gear you bring from outside inside it's fucking worthless.
Right.
Then therefore the potency doesn't really change anything. It's all about whether or not you being level 1 inside there is a legit level 1. Like you have only your level 1 skill. At level 2, you have your level 1 and 2 skill. Or is it that your effective power is drained to item level 1 or level 1-ish, but all your abilities are still unlocked? Unless, of course, you get to a floor that...
I just don't see how that would work.
It fucking works the way it works in every other game that syncs except for ours. Other games have it perfectly fine where you sync down level and you keep all your abilities.
Unless you really, really level at a fast rate, which you... Like, each floor
let
me
use Guild Wars 2 as an example. Guild Wars 2, when you fucking unlocked your abilities, it doesn't matter when you sync to what level, you still have all your abilities. You have to unlock them the first time by leveling up, but after that, you have them regardless of your level sync. There's no reason we can't have that here. There's no reason we can't have it anywhere, but there's specifically no reason why we can't have that here.
Yeah, I got nothing.
We don't know, but I'm willing to bet we don't actually lose all of our abilities.
Kind of like the Metroid thing, you lose everything that you have at the beginning and try to get it back as you go through. Yeah.
Yeah, they did that in the first Assassin's Creed game too, and that pissed me off. So we get to see all this randomly generated stuff. They're going through with the 4 DPS, whatever. They end up fighting a bunch of enemies, Drakes, the useless boss.
Now, I will say this, and this is kind of an obvious thing. Well, I had to go back and rewind because I kept seeing the succubus there, and I'm like, it's following them.
No, it is them.
It's them.
It is them.
Yeah, it's them.
So before I get to that, the next thing that I see that was kind of strange is there's a point where they're in a room and it scans the room.
Yeah.
There's also a little glowing lamp in the corner, which is where you get your buffs and debuffs from, like those they showed at
PAX East.
Yeah, PAX East. I almost said E3. E3's in 2 weeks.
You're ready though.
Yeah, but I mean, at E3 there will be a live letter for Deep Dungeons, so yeah. I'm just ready for that. So it shows it scanning the room. It doesn't show it have any effect, but it at least shows it scanning the room. So I don't know if it's sort of.
Do you think it's like a be still mechanic? Like, don't move.
No, because they move right through it. I'd be okay with that, but they move right through it. Nothing happens to them. But what's interesting is what happens next is it shows them all transforming into a different creature. But let me rewatch it again real quick before I say something stupid, because it looks at one point like they used an item that turned them into that thing. So
LF15.
No, they do. They throw something on the ground, it breaks, and they turn into a creature. So it is an item that you're picking up in there. It's not like it's a random transformation that you have no control over. They literally
But do you know for a fact what you're going to turn to when you throw that item?
That's the question. Are you throwing down a Manticore transformation? Are you throwing down a Succubus transformation? I mean, that I can't tell, obviously, but they are absolutely forcing these transformations. And these creatures, if you see somebody turns into a Succubus and starts spamming, like, Void Fire too.
Yep.
Yeah, like, you see that at a few points. So a big part of this is going to be using these items and transformations, and that's kind of what we wanted to know about Deep Dungeon. Is it just going to be go through the floors, kill enemies, maybe pick up a buff or two? But it looks like they want you to be doing more than that. It wants you to be considering using when you're going to use these transformations or any of the items you may pick up inside of there. And this is really what they mean by what you do inside of there. The items you obtain in there will be how you progress. And I'm just curious as to the degree of which that this is true. Like, how necessary is this Manticore transformation? How necessary is the Succubus transformation?
I think they would, in the end, like, it's a mechanic that they want you to use, but is not necessarily needed. I feel as if it's just, you know, here's the power-up. You can take it. You can use it. Don't really need it, but here it is.
Yeah. And some people have pointed out that it might be based on the job you go in as, but they're in as Dragoon, Ninja, Monk, Black Mage. And well, hold on, let me get this exactly right. The Black Mage and what seems to be the Dragoon turn into Succubi, and then the other two turn into Manticore. So I don't think that's because there's three melee DPS and one caster. So I think it's a legit item that's turning you into someone you selected, or it's just completely random. It's one of the two. Yeah. And then they show, like in the very next room, they show someone who's a Manticore just beating the shit out of things, pretty much. They literally, that's just what they're doing. They're just running around beating the shit out of adamantoises. And then it shows someone as the Succubus. And then you can also see treasure chests in there. Like, there's all kinds of shit going on.
Mimics. Don't open them.
And then you see here the Ninja transforms into a Succubus, and then he starts casting Void Fire too, alongside of the Black Mage, who's also casting fire stuff. So there's a lot going on here. It looks like there's a lot of rules and gimmicks that we're gonna have to learn. And then there's just the whole floor gets fucked. I can't actually see if somebody uses an item to turn everything in here into a thing, but that's what I'm looking for. Like, that's what I'm looking for more than anything at this point. Is trying to determine if it's like all of these actions are based on items that the players are using, if it's randomly generated because of the floor. But ultimately, it's a lot more involved than I thought it was going to be. Like, this trailer made me very happy. Made me Mr. Happy.
Never again.
Never
again.
That's the 20th time you've told me never again on the same joke.
Never again.
Again. Don't make me say it again right now, Sly. See, somebody tweeted me. Okay. Somebody tweeted me the thing that I just told you about. Elegance. Yeah, see? Somebody figured it out. Elegance, yeah. He only tweeted it at me, though. He didn't tweet it at you, because no one cares about you. All right, that's fine. Okay, anyway, moving on. Where did it go? Where did I put the trailer on my screen? And then we get laughing little Ed at the end, who's got her nails done, hair done, everything did, because we don't see her face, but that might as well, we know that's her.
Besides the dress, how much of a change do you think Ed has gone through?
I mean, the question is she still trying to bring back a Veer, or has she given up on that? Because his head.
She wants you now. She wants the booty. She wants your booty.
She's like, you ruined my wedding.
You gonna be my husband though. You gonna be.
She's gonna chop off our heads and turn us into a Veers. So, I don't know. All we know is we get her little laugh cry at the end. You see her in a mix of another part that's Amdapori. So, I mean, this place is going to have some sort of story attached to it. Do you think that that's going to be sufficient? Because we still don't know if there's any sort of reward for doing Deep Dungeon outside of just progressing through Deep Dungeon.
Like the story alone will be sufficient?
Will it? Do you think that what if there is no outside reward? There's no tombstones, there's no glamour, but you go through and it's just a matter of you're a completionist and there's story in here. Would that be enough to get you doing it?
Again, we're going to have the leaderboard.
Okay. That's a solo leaderboard, and it's not available at the launch.
It's not available at launch, but we will eventually get it. I'm actually down for the lore implications.
I am too. I would play this strictly to learn more about Edda. And these ruins in particular. Like, what are these ruins? Why are they
Ruins?
These ruins. What are these ruins? Oh, I don't want to take a summoner in there because they're going to ruin everything. There you go.
Terrible.
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 You're terrible.
You're terrible.
Nope.
It's terrible too.
That's my response. Nope. Well, you're stupid. There you go. And then after that, I mean, that's pretty much where we can conclude because we already spoke about Sorkai and we already spoke about Nidhugger. There's two things we still need to talk about, though, for tonight. Okay, the first one is the Warring Triad. Because that is strangely absent from this trailer. I understand there's no trial. We understand that. There's no trial fight here. The fact that flower pots appeared and the Warring Triad didn't is a little bit upsetting.
So flower pots are the new Warring Triad?
Yes.
I mean, we did kill Seth, so flowers are supposed to bloom, I guess?
Yeah, I guess. Whatever. I don't know. But, I mean, we know at this point we're getting a trial against Regula. That's all we know about the Warring Triad. I don't know if I need to be a little excited, if I need to be very excited, and very importantly, I don't know if we're going to get Tower of Gods in 3.5 like I predicted anymore. Or in 3.55, or whenever the fuck they could do it.
3.5. No. We'll get Tower of Gods once we go through the other two Warring Triads.
But the problem is, unless we get both of them in 3.4, which is incredibly unlikely.
Impossible.
It's not impossible.
They would have the rush.
No, they wouldn't have to rush. They just wouldn't have to do fucking develop flower pots.
Again, quality of life. Well, it's not even quality of life. It's just random stuff.
Did you just call flower pots quality of life?
No. Well, aesthetics. Fuck it. Okay, we would have to get a Warring Triad member in 3.4. We would have to get one in 3.5, and then the schedule would be 3.4, 3.5.
There ain't gonna be no 3.6. Don't go there.
No, I'm not saying 3.6. 3.55, we would get the Tower of the Gods fight.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, that's
rushed.
Either that or we get both fights in 3.4, which is possible. It's just not likely.
2 trials in one patch.
Why not? Fuck it. Make up one trial. Give me fucking accessories again. I missed that shit. 2
Warring Triads in one patch.
Make another trial that gives me accessories like the original Extreme Primals did. I'm down.
Okay.
I'm down with the sickness.
I'm just saying it's highly unlikely.
The Judgment Rings, the Hailstorm wristlets, like, I'm down. Give me the accessories back, baby. I want Primal accessories back.
I'm still saying Sophia's next.
I'm going with Zervan. I know you're going with Sophia just to debate with me.
Yeah, pretty much.
And this trial, like, that's the thing. Like, is this going to be like 15? I have a feeling where it's 15 minutes of Warring Triad and I'm done. I think Hildibrand and Warring Triad are going to be strangely the same amount of time to complete. Which is not a great thing.
It's not a great thing for Warring Triad. Hildibrand, it's not a great thing for Hildibrand, too, but I'm kind of used to it now based on what the first Hildibrand we got in 3.0. But, yeah, I definitely want something a little bit longer in the Warring Triad.
Yeah, I agree. I was going to say it. I decided not to. Yeah. Okay, and then there's one last thing that has nothing to do with this trailer, but I totally told people we were going to talk about it today, and then totally forgot to tell you on Discord.
Again, thank you.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. You definitely knew this was coming. The seasonal event, the Gold Saucer event. Motherfucker, you love murder mysteries, all right? Have you done it yet?
Make it rain.
Have you done it yet?
No.
You motherfucker. Like, actually fucking mothers. And not in a good way.
Okay.
No. Like, they're fucking you, if anything.
Yeah.
It's a murder mystery. That's right up your alley. You're useless. You know that, right? Can I get everyone call Slyh? If you're watching this on YouTube, if you're watching it now live, please call Slyh useless.
God, can I get fucking patient for Zero Time Dilemma? I'm sorry, I don't know what a fucking, like, I don't know how
murder mystery takes 20 minutes. All right? You're good at murder mysteries. That shit would take you 20 minutes max. And I also have gotten 200k MGP with barely any effort, and now I have my Fenrir mount.
Thanks, everyone. Yes.
And you get an emote.
Ooh.
What gives you an exclamation mark over your head.
Ooh.
Slyh, everyone's like Slyh by a mic. All right.
Hey, don't die on me.
Yeah, if I do, the show's fucked. Anyway, so because I can't even rely on my co-host to do the fucking seasonal event. Which, by the way, I did tell you at the end of last week's show, after the show was done, that we were talking about that next week. Because we reminded everyone that we were doing, that it was coming out. God damn it, Slyh, you're fucking useless.
I'm getting on after this, and...
You guys heard, hold him to his fucking word, guys. Go to his stream.
I'll go to the gold saucer, do my crackpot, and then do whatever the fuck this bullshit is.
And you better not fail, because it took me like an hour, because I like refused to take the obvious hints. And I was like, it can't be that, it's too easy. And so I had to do it 4 times before I finally was like, fine, I'll just go with the easy one that I ignored the first time. And I was like, that was it. Okay. There we go. It's a good event. I like it. A lot of people are not liking it because it requires thought. I'm just saying, that seems to be the number one complaint.
I'm sorry. It's just the way you say it.
I mean, it's true. That's been what seems to be the number one complaint.
Oh, shit. I'm sorry. I had to bear on that one. Oh, God.
And it's so easy if you get all the hints, too.
Oh, God.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Oh,
Even
man.
if you fail to solve the mystery...
Holy shit.
Oh, my God, Slyh.
It requires... I'm done. Keep going.
Even if you fail to solve the murder mystery, you still get the seasonal item rewards. You don't even have to do it right.
Oh, shit.
Because they know that some people don't give a fuck. And yet there's still complaint about it. It's not a particularly difficult seasonal event either. You alright there?
I'm good. Oh, man.
It's crazy to me that you can complain. Like, this was actually fun, and it was also good to see one of a character that we don't really see outside of some other storylines pop up a little bit here. I loved it. I'm all for, if Yokai Watch is as good as this, I'll be happy. Because that's the next event, is the Yokai Watch event, in like a month, and probably like in July at some point.
But it's not a murder mystery.
It's not, well, I mean, maybe it could be, you never know. It's gonna be
you never know, but...
Giant semen mounts, like, it could be anything. And it's, like I said, it's not a very difficult riddle. It's like, I stupided it up because I was like, I want to see what all the options are. And then I went by the very obvious one. I was like, okay, it was that. That's very obvious, like I said the very first time. Do the event. You and everyone watching, do the damn event.
I will.
Just use your brain. He says use your words, I'm saying use your brain. That's it. And even if you don't want to use your brain, just go fucking fail it real quick.
Think about it. It requires thought.
Yeah, I mean, that was the problem. It seems like everyone's like, what the fuck is this shit? I don't want to think.
It's like...
I don't want to
You generally think of MMO players as intelligent. Generally.
At least as thinkers.
As thinkers. There is a lot of thought required.
They think a lot of things.
Yeah.
Us MMO players, we think a lot of things.
We do. There's a lot of thought.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a lot of people who have lack thereof, apparently, because of this event.
Yeah. I mean, that's just that's my thought at the very least. Yeah. Now, I will say that is one frustrating thing. You don't find all the hints. You don't have the right options to do it correctly. You need to find all the hints, or your character cannot literally solve the mystery. Even if you personally found enough hints to figure it out, if you do not find all the hints, it won't let you follow that train of thought.
It works like a murder mystery then. It's exactly a murder mystery. You can't advance. You can't advance the story or
the right evidence.
Without evidence.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's like, that's definitely what it is. Okay, prove it. I just know.
You don't have proof.
Fuck you. When does that work ever?
Yeah, you don't have proof.
Have you never seen Law-Abiding Citizen?
Show me your proof, Phoenix Wright.
Go watch Law-Abiding Citizen. You'll understand that how proof is needed. Just pretend it's the American government. You'll be fine. All right. Let's see. Okay. And then I like this. I'm looking forward to the Yokai Watch. I never thought I'd say that. I'm sorry. The Lords of Verminion expansion. I'm looking forward to the new Lords of Verminion expansion, the Yokai Watch. By the way, I finished all the challenges finally because of the Make It Rain campaign. Got that Twin Tanya minion, baby. Your clap sounds like shit through your microphone, by the way.
I don't care.
Let's see. Is there anything else I missed? No, I don't think there is because the website is still missing Aquapolis, Palace of the Dead, Frontlines, and Animal Weapons.
Now, do you think there's actually a reason for this? Because they do hold off a lot of stuff from this and preliminaries, and then once you get the final notes, then it shows up.
No, I don't know. I don't think there's a particularly important reason why Aquapolis... I mean, Palace of the Dead we probably won't see until actually after 3.3 launches. I don't see that actually being filled in there until, like, around E3 time. But why Frontlines? We literally have the post on the lodestone that details Frontlines, that explains the new Shatter. Like, there's no point for it to not be here. Animal Weapons, we've got the screenshot from I almost said FanFest this time.
Yeah, you're excited.
East,
yeah.
From East. And then Aquapolis is in the trailer. Like, why are these things not present on the website? It's almost like whoever writes up the website, and I'm sorry if this is anyone on the community team. Anyways, it's like if somebody writes up the website, and it's like, I don't want to fucking finish this. Just make it live with what it has. I'll finish the rest later. I'll finish the rest later. Fuck it. Oh, man. That's pretty much how it feels to me when I see that when things like this aren't done, so... but it doesn't look like there's too many other things. That being said, as we said, the preliminary patch notes are this Friday. Any surprises?
No. The surprises come up once the actual patch reading happens. That's when the surprises show up.
Not really. Because here's the thing. Here's preliminary patch notes. We're going to tell you everything. Here's full patch notes.
No, we're not.
No. Listen, here's full patch notes. Here are the recipes we withheld from the preliminaries, plus any current bugs that we know about. That is the only difference between preliminaries and full patch notes. And with the monthly monk buffs. I'm still waiting to see if Diadem makes its appearance, because they said that they had more updates coming to it.
So you think Diadem's going to make a random appearance?
I do think Diadem is going to make some sort of appearance there. Something's going to change with the Diadem.
If anything, it's going to be a small change. It's going to be
They said it was
most
four.
noticeable change.
They said it was 4 major updates to it over 3.2, 3.3, 3.4, and 3.5.
Define major.
That's what we need to see.
That's
the first update.
Their definition of major and our definition of major, because not a lot of people take Diadem this seriously, are two different definitions of major.
Yeah, because the first major update was the reduction in the amount of time you could spend in there, and the reduction of the ethereal currents, which was major because that was a big complaint people had. But the other things they said, they wanted to give it direction. That was the next thing they wanted to say. When you're in there, you should be trying to achieve things. You shouldn't be sitting on one island and grinding.
That's going to take the fun out of it, in my opinion.
Because sitting there and killing fucking
direction.
Dinosaurs.
It is the wild, wild west, and that's why I love it. You can go have direction first, like we had.
You can still do whatever directions you want, but they want you to feel good about completing things, not just sitting there and killing 3 dinosaurs over and over again.
I mean, what are you going to do? Add more optional objectives? That's the only thing
it's more about making it so there's reasons to, as a group, go island to island. Not sit on one island. We already
have reasons. Every one of us have an individual reason for being there. 9 out of 10, fishing.
They don't want you to have an individual reason. They want you to have a concentrated reason.
No! Let me fucking fish. I don't want to do anything else. I'll get the first shit done, and then get the flying, and then go get some retribution staff or pterodactyls. Leave me the fuck alone. Don't touch my shit. I'm there for a reason. I need to make money, and if you add shit on there, I'm not going to be able to make money.
Motherfucker, just fly out there with your free company airship. Your silence is reassuring.
I mean, mean, we do have 4 ships right now.
Yeah, there you go. What was I gonna say about that? I want a reason to go there that's like meaningful.
Fishing?
Fishing's not a meaningful reason.
Yes, it is. What are you talking
No,
about?
it's
Of
not.
course, it's meaningful. You make money.
It's not meaningful. It's not meaningful at all. There's no soul. I want to see more things like the Ultima event that happens there, where when the Ultima weapon weather happens, 9 fucking Rafflasias spawn and they all drop bonus shit. I want some more shit like that. I want it to be like when it's hyper electricity, fucking Coral Regina spawns in like the middle, like one of the middle islands or something, and has like fucking automatically spawns a fucking gold chest or something. I want events like that happening in my diadem, not fucking let me go touch this crystal and then hold my dick over the water to get some fish. Which is all it is.
You don't like holding your dick over the water to get some fish?
Nope.
You don't like noodling?
I don't like
noodling.
No, I don't.
Okay.
Yeah. Dinosaurs using meteor is definitely not incentive enough, because that is the one dinosaur I don't want to run into. Take that back. The fucking Wyzant is the one enemy I don't want to run into. Let me fear you guys constantly and make sure your movement speed is slow as hell. And then okay, so that's what it is. So we have so that's my surprise. I'm expecting Diadem to make an appearance there. What are your plans for Tuesday?
Main story, dungeons.
So main story is Sorkai Nidhogg.
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely trying to do Nidhogg hard or normal first, because as a group, later on that night for raid, we will be doing Nidhogg stream. Like we scheduled this out. We made, like, as they even told us, make sure you get Nidhogg normal done, because once we get on at 11, we're doing extreme.
Okay.
Fuck Midas, we're doing extreme as a group.
Okay.
As far as anything else, that's pretty much it. That'll probably be the week trying to get through, or like the first few days trying to get through extreme, and then after that it's just meh.
How long do you think the main story is going to take this time? Excluding the time it takes to like do
read dialogue and shit.
Yeah, I mean like strictly like story, how long the story itself. Not it's going to take me 30 minutes to beat Sorkai, it'll take me 30 minutes to beat Nidhogg, like the actual story elements.
How long did it take me last time? It took me about between an hour and a half to 2 hours.
You slow as fuck, dude.
Huh?
You slow as fuck, dude.
Hey, I like to take my time and take breaks and shit. Hopefully around the same time.
Okay. 2 hours then, roughly. I think it'll probably be pretty long, just because I expect us to have like a 20-25 minute cutscene at some point. I expect us to have that warning that they give you better sit down, motherfucker.
I don't expect that warning here. It's too early.
I expect it with the final steps of faith, like as the battle's unfolding kind of deal.
If we do get it, it'll be a warm welcome. I'm like, okay, I'll grab a snack. I'll grab some beer. That's fine. Give me 1 second, and then come back and watch everything.
Yeah, pretty much. That's the thing is I'm looking. I want that one, because that's the thing. Those are the best cutscenes in 2.55. Were those long ass cutscenes. Mm-hmm. So if they can orchestrate that to happen again, I will more than welcome it. If we don't have it now, we will have it in 3.55. So
of course, and the thing about that is it happens so soon and so often. I wouldn't want that to be a thing within each patch. Okay, make sure you got some time, because this is gonna be pretty lengthy. Every so often is fine, but every patch, no. That's why I just don't think it'll be until 3.55.
All right, so let's see here. What else? Is that it? Because main story is only 2 hours.
Yeah.
What else after that?
Anima Grunt.
Hey, that's the answer I was looking for.
Yeah.
I can't wait. Oh, not again. Slyh, listen, you understand I still have that.
Yeah, I know.
Where is it? That's not it. That's the salt canister. I have the salt canister handy if you want that.
Sure.
There you go. All
right.
Just for you.
Thanks.
So, my plans, I know. very. I literally want to complete the patch that day.
Including anima?
No, well, probably not including my anima weapon. That would be fucking ridiculous. Pretty much. Yeah, so I'm going to assume for me, probably same deal. Main story first. Sorkai, Nidhogg normal. Probably right into Nidhogg extreme, because I want him beat within, like, maybe 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, because you want that video up so everybody can say on the party founders, if you haven't watched the video, do not join this party. Because we're not going to get enough of that first or second day.
We never get enough of that, to be honest.
We never get enough of that.
We need more of that forever.
Ever.
And, okay, so after Nidhogg Extreme, I want to do the other dungeon, real quick, Hullbreaker. I want to get an Aquapolis group going. I want to complete the Weeping City of Mhach. Mm-hmm. And, most importantly, I want to queue into A8 Savage in the Raid Finder.
You really want to test the water in the Raid Finder, really?
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy.
Look, hope you have alcohol.
Not at that hour. I'll have coffee.
Have coffee.
You damn right. I want to do it. I got to test it. Okay, here's what I actually want to do with the Raid Finder, though. I want to go into a 5, 6, and 7, click that I want it to be a farming group, or whatever the name of the option is, and see how successful a farming group in the Raid Finder is.
Do you want my hypothesis?
I would love to hear your hypothesis.
Not fucking successful at all.
But everyone in there has already beaten it.
Since when is a clear party ever a clear party? When is a farm party ever a fucking farm party? we cleared this. I mean, but now we have legitimate ways of knowing if you have or have not. And then the most clear or farm parties, but people who have cleared, go completely south. It doesn't work the way it's intended, and I honestly think while good intentioned, it's not going to work the way it's intended. You are going to be so fucking.
I actually think it will be moderately successful, only because
you'll be so fucking stressful with it. Like,
of course it's going to be stressful. But here's the thing. I have a feeling that this is what's missing in the formula for people who are level 60, who have not gotten to raid yet. Because the number one problem they have is they have no means of getting experience. Now they don't have another player looking them in the face and go, fuck you, go beat it before you talk to me.
Go watch video.
They could still do that before they go into the raid finder.
Yeah, sure.
But, I mean, now they can literally be like, okay, I need raid experience. It's not the greatest, or probably, I don't know that we'll win, but I can go into the raid finder and I can try. It's basically trying, do you understand that the raid finder is basically trying to force the Japanese progression mindset onto us, right? It is exactly what.
It's not going to work. When has the Japanese mindset ever worked for North America? Never.
That's because it has never been shoved down our throats and made a feature in the game.
Oh, okay. That's true. I'll give you that point. But I like trying to force feed us this way. I don't think it's going to do it. Like,
I think a lot of people are going to get clears this way. And then they'll be like, hey guys, I beat A5 Savage. And you know what? Honestly, if I was recruiting and I was trying to make like an A5, A6 Savage raid, and I was like, I beat A5 Savage in the raid finder. You fucking really? Get in here. I fucking trust this guy. Get in here. And then you find out he was the guy who was dead for like the last 40% of the fight while they came. Besides the point, anyway. I have faith.
I don't.
I have faith.
I don't.
And I can't wait to hear how much better the Japanese use the raid finder than we do.
Of course they're going to use it better. It's their idea. When was this ever a North American and European idea? Of course it's going to be their thing.
When we saw the Japanese use it, we were like, wow, I wish we could do that. That was the end of it. Oh, man. Sad face. And if anything, you know what? It makes a great joke for State of the Realm.
Always.
There we go. If it doesn't work at all for us, it makes a great joke for State of the Realm. This is Savage squared. There you go. Oh, man. All right, on that note, guys, we had a pretty long show this week because we were talking about the trailer, so we're going to wrap
I did not think it would be that long.
Giggity.
Phrasing.
There you go. But we had a nice long game, a nice long talk. Oh, all right.
I had to throw that in there. Go ahead.
There you go. All right. So, on that note, we're going to wrap things up, move over into a short little post show, and then I'm going to go eat some food because I'm fucking hungry. I'm hucking fungry, dude.
Hucking fungry.
I'm hucking fungry right now. Sly, why don't you tell them where they can find you at?
You can find me on twitch.tv/Slyakagreyfox. You can find me on Twitter at Slythefox. You can find me on Instagram at Slyakagreyfox07. You can find me on Plot 14 Ward 5 of Behemoth in the Lavender Beds as Fox Sly. You can find me on Mateus, which I haven't been on in a while, as Slyakagreyfox. Where can they find you, Happy, if they already don't know? And if you don't know, you've been living under a rock. But where can they find you?
Mr. Happy 1227 everywhere. All right, on that note, we're going to wrap things.
Shortest fuck ever.
There you go. I mean, like, just Google it. Like, you can find me at Mr. Happy 127 on Google, and that will take you.
Google.
That will take you.
No, he's that grand. You can find them on Google.
I can find you on Google. Look, I guarantee you, I can find you on Google. Slyakagreyfox. Found you on Google. Look, Sly, twitch.tv/Slyakagreyfox, Slyakagreyfox on Twitter, on Dream Network. I found you on Instagram. I found you on PSN. I found you on Treat Stream.
Did you find me on Smite?
I found you on obsproject.com. I found you on SoundCloud. I found you on Twitch alerts. However, when I type your name on Google, it says searches related to Sly, aka Greyfox, and it says Mr. Happy Final Fantasy XIV.
God damn it!
Mr. Happy Twitch.
Because I'm apparently a part of Mr. Happy.
There you go. Here, I even found you on MySpace.
From college. Holy shit!
Hey, you lost weight, Sly.
Yeah! Yeah, not as big.
I found you on Deepbot. I found you on Discus. I found you on Tweet Beer. Dude, you're more popular on Twitch, on Google than I am.
God damn it.
Found you on Tinder. Oh my god, this is
Really?
It still says that search is related to you or me, by the way. I'm just saying. Oh, by the way, by page 3, I started finding things that weren't you.
Right.
Except here on Blizzard Overwatch streams. Here you go.
Right.
That's it. All right, on that note, guys, we're going to go on a post show, so we'll see you next week where we will be reviewing our first day of patch 3.3.
Hooray!
Yay! We'll see you next week, guys. Thank you for joining us.
See you next week!